See these cucumbers? Yep. All of these cucumbers, I grew them in my garden and I'm so proud. I've already made pickles and now I'm going to try something for the first time that I have not done, and that is relish. Yep, I'm going to give it a try. I'm excited. So the first thing I'm going to do is skin my cucumbers. Take all the skin off. Like when I make pickles, I kept the skin on. And a lot of times when I eat them raw, I keep the skin on. But for this, I'm going to go ahead and skin them. So I'm taking all the skin off with my vegetable peeler. And then I'm going to take my 2 cucumbers and 2 onions and a green pepper. I washed my green pepper, so that's why the little water there. And I'm going to take that into my food processor. And I'm going to cut it in uniform pieces, big ones, right? Not just throw it in there, because I want to have really uniform little chunks of relish. You know how relish is, right? Small, uniform chunks. And the way we do that is make sure we have nice, even pieces that we put in the food processor. And then we pulse, gently pulse. You have to pulse. It's so important, because if you just put it on, you'll make like a smoothie, and you don't want a cucumber relish smoothie. You want nice little chunks. So make sure that you pulse, 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 and start with small, measurable sizes. Now, once we get finished with pulsing our onions, our green pepper, and our cucumbers, now we're going to take it and make sure that we mix it very well in a bowl, because we want to, if you're thinking of a relish, you want to make sure that every little bite gets a little green pepper, a little onion, and a little cucumber. So go ahead and just mix that very well. But we are far from done. We're going to take 2 teaspoons of turmeric, and we're going to put that all around our cucumber mixture and then mix it very well. But we're also going to use a cup of Himalayan pink salt. I know that's a lot of salt, but that's what we're going to use. Mix it all together so it's well incorporated, and then we're going to let it sit there for 2 or 3 hours. Just let it sit covered for 2 to 3 hours. Let that cucumber and those veggies soak up all that turmeric and that salt. And then when it's done, we are going to rinse it out. Put it in the sink or wherever you want, and rinse out all of that salt water and all of that turmeric. Now the color is going to remain, because the turmeric is mostly for color. It's going to see that nice pretty color. Now we're going to take 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, 1.5 cups of organic sugar, and let that melt together. We're going to take about a tablespoon of mustard seeds and a tablespoon of pickling seasoning, and let all of that meld together. You put your cucumber mixture inside of there and let it simmer for about an hour on low. Mixing well, nice and incorporated. Now, once you have mixed it all, you're going to give it a taste and see what you've done. And let me tell you, I was very, very, very proud of what I tasted, because you know what, guys? I made real relish. So proud of myself. I made real relish. So excited. And now we're going to let that cool just a bit, just enough to handle, and we're going to put it into our jars. But before we put it into our jars, we have to prep our jars. So these jars have already been washed in the dishwasher, but what I'm doing here is sterilizing them with some boiling water, and also my funnel, and also the lids. And now I'm going to pour my relish. The relish is still warm, inside of the jar. And I did it in the sink just in case it got a little messy, and you see it did, so it wouldn't spill all over my counter, because that turmeric will stain. So pour it all the way into the top, not too much air left in the top. And then go ahead and put your jar on. Now these jars are just old jelly jars and tomato sauce jars, right? They're just used jars that I put in the dishwasher, and I use them for various things. So save your jars, guys, instead of buying new ones. Okay, so there you go. I got my relish, and I let it cool down, and I've had it in the fridge for about a month so far, but it's still going strong. The key is to make sure you use clean utensils when you're using it. Here, I use it in my vegan eggless salad, my own relish, and there you go. I made it myself. Again, tell everyone in the family when they go for that relish, they need to use a nice, clean utensil.